Hey guys, how's it going? I am so happy to have. So actually, if you guys care, that's what we're looking at to talk to people. This is just comments. So happy to have two guys here. We got Jimmy Neithardt of just New Jersey,
That's it.
and then we have Nathan Looney of CounterShox here. They're out here for the Ride the World series of awesomeness. This is episode 5, and they are here to talk to you guys about all kinds of things. Jimmy's mainly here to give me a hard time
and drink this lovely coffee.
Drink coffee out of a Chewbacca mug. And Nathan's here to talk about CounterShox and whatever else. The fact that he just drove straight through the night from Kansas and pulled up here ready to go on this show. So, yeah, I'm super happy to have them both here. 1 second, make sure that's running. All right. So, welcome to the Gospel of Two Wheels, number 179, where the coffee's hot, the bikes are fast, and your comments are absolutely ridiculous. It is good to see everybody. Brady, Jeff, Kelly, Mark, Kim, Paul, Bruce. Wow, this is awesome.
Matter where you at?
Yeah, he was up late.
He's getting ready for 111 range this weekend.
Yeah.
I'll
Nice.
be there.
Yeah. Nathan's going to make it back, which is awesome.
Was that enduro or
Sprint Enduro
sprint?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
in Oklahoma.
Sweet.
Thank you, Rob. Third place was all I could manage, but I was really happy. Let's see.
Oh, I didn't see that.
What's with the stay salty sign out front? Oh, that is from a company. It's called Element, LMNT, and they make these really good hydration. It's like no sugar, electrolyte, salt things you put in water. Anyway, they're actually really good and help me to keep from getting cramps after a gnarly race, because that's my dude, whatever. I'm out of shape. So if you guys have any questions for these guys or me, please fire them off. We'll definitely do our best here. Hey, TJ, what's happening? He beat me down in New Mexico. Doug Summerfield, what's happening? I do have a question here from Becky Lerner, Ireland.
Oh, that's my sister-in-law.
Oh, right on. So there we go. From the interwebs, Jimmy got into a bad accident about 20 years ago.
Oh, okay, nice.
Does he ever get scared to ride again?
Scared? No, not at all. No, I enjoy it, and so I got hit by a 4-wheeler head on, and yeah, it was bad. ICU for like 8 days. I got titanium and stuff in me, so I mean, I don't do motocross that much anymore, so I'm not like hucking big stuff, but nah, I don't ever get scared.
Yeah, I mean, I think we can actually all speak to that, Nathan. I'm sure you've had some big crashes.
Oh yeah. I road raced for a while, and I crashed almost every weekend I ever raced.
Yeah.
And then I split my hand in two with a street sign, and I've got a lot of that hardware in there.
Yeah.
So,
It goes with the game. It goes
but
with everything.
dirt bikes have been pretty decent to me. You break a lot of little stuff. I've broken a lot of fingers, a lot of toes, foot, but nothing horrible. So,
Yeah, and I exploded my left ankle like really bad on a Saturday morning ride, actually, screwing around with friends, and anyway, it was not good. And I don't know what it is about guys, girls who ride dirt bikes, but it seems like we have short-term memory. Like we kind of forget about those
we're
things.
too dumb to remember pain.
Yeah, and then like after, I don't know, I usually feel like I'm maybe a little timid after an injury for a little while, and then it gets so much fun that you're just like, whatever. I don't even care.
I broke some ribs and tore up my shoulder last year, and
Yeah.
I kept riding through it. Like,
Yeah.
just it is what it is.
Yeah,
Deal with it.
yeah, exactly. It's just, I don't know. All these dirt bike people will completely understand. And as you get older, you start to slow down a little bit because you have more like responsibilities, kids, house, whatever. You slow down. It definitely creeps into my mind. Like when I'm, pinning it down some straightaway, I'm like, maybe not 6th today. We'll just do 5th.
Yeah.
Hey, what's happening Fridays? Elijah, how are you doing, man? Robert Boucher, good to see you, dude. Barnata, what is happening? Yeah, no knees for me. Yeah, how are your knees? Mike was flying in the sand too, which is awesome. Teddy Roosevelt. That is awesome. So let's talk to Nathan, because Nathan has the CounterShox device, which you guys, if you're watching my videos, I'm running one. I actually run 2, one on each bike. Nathan, give us just a quick background, whatever you want to say about CounterShox.
Well, as far as what it does, it helps dissipate a lot of the impacts that you feel while you're riding. A lot of times, as the fork comes up, it goes down, and that impact that it creates within itself will take up to 30 pounds of the impact that you feel coming through the bars. And, and then also as the fork extends, the little jerk that you feel pulling down, it also helps dissipate that. And just overall, you end up with your, I've had a lot of people tell me they quit getting forearm pump, but better front end feel. Everybody talks about how the front end feels planted. I like it because it's real trackable. Like when you're going up a hill, you can always hit the line that you want to hit because it tracks so much better than without it on. And, I've ran a lot of different kinds of suspension, and it seems to work with just about anything because it's kind of working in a different realm than suspension, really.
Yeah, and I can say from now having it on both my bikes, the 125 and the 300, and racing them both and riding them in lots of stuff. For me personally, the biggest thing that I feel like it helps for me is the big hits. Like the really rough stuff was always pretty good for me. I feel like the bike was working really good. The suspension was good. I mean, I had it set up really well for me. Like not everybody's is like that, but my bikes work really good. And there's definitely some better feel through like the real, like that braking bump chop where it's like, it feels like the thing's, like that. It's almost like harmonic. It feels good there. But for me, in that sand race down in New Mexico was huge because when I hit a big thing hard, it feels like the bike wants to deflect one way or the other. And I swear it's the weirdest feeling. It just makes the bike feel like it goes straight. And just, yeah. So the sand whoops were way easier than they've ever been. Way easier.
I think pretty early on, you had ridden and hadn't really tried it the way I told you. I said, next time you go riding, slam into G outs. Don't just check up over them, slam into them. And, normally, unless your suspension is really good, you're going left and right to hit them. And it doesn't. It helps dissipate that and tracks better afterwards. So,
yeah. And that's exactly because he was like, yeah, hit the next G out really hard. And I did. And it was like, oh, okay. And it was a G out. Like, it helps that I know these trails around here really well. So I can hit the same thing I hit 1,000 times, and I know what the bike normally does, and have it be better was pretty cool. And my buddy Foxy Bibbs will be trying one out here really soon. He rode my bike, which he's ridden lots of times, and he's like, "Man, the front end of your bike just feels really good today. Did you do anything?" And this is no joke. Like I'm straight up. We neither of us could figure it out. We're like, I don't know, man. I don't know. It does feel really good. And eventually we were like, oh, wait a second. It's got the CounterShox on it. And he's like, son of a, okay, well, crap. I guess I have to try one. So we're going to be putting one on his bike very soon. So what was like, I mean, obviously not, you don't have to go deep into it, but what made you think about that? Like, what's your background?
Well, really my background is mostly in construction, but I always go out to the garage and try different things on my bikes. I've been racing AA since 2000, so for a long time. And I just had an idea. Was actually watching a documentary about buildings and the harmonic frequencies that they build these dampers in to help cancel that out. And I was like wondering if there was something we could do that would do something like that. And I ended up going out in the garage and building something that works about half as good as what we have now, but it also was over 1 foot long and 2 inches around and about impossible to hide. So I got together with a aerospace engineer friend of mine, and we were able to really shrink the size of it so that it fits and tucks in nicely and actually works twice as good as what I originally came up with through all the data. And we did a lot of testing with it. So
yeah, and it's really cool. And Nathan's gonna be out here at least today and what part of tomorrow.
Yeah, I don't know how long you're riding, but yeah.
So yeah, so if you guys are around, he'll be out for Thursday night ride, and you guys should come out. I'll have actually both my bikes will be out this weekend. So if you're around for the Ride the World, I'll have my bikes ready. We can also take some CounterShox off and try them out and move them around on bikes. So
I've got lots of them with me, and I also have loaner ones that just kind of proof of concept, put them on people's bikes temporarily, and we can do that. So anybody that wants to try one, just holler. I've got plenty of them to try.
And
But you'll probably not want me taking it.
Yeah, you probably just want to keep it. Which so bring your money.
That's been the way. I haven't had anybody that I put one on and they said, "Oh, that's junk. I take that off." They go, "Yeah,
Not sure.
onto that."
My wife is watching, but she's familiar with those dimensions.
Yeah. Yes. And so Big D Husker, is it model specific or universal? It's universal. Right? You don't have any.
For all your big bikes, it
Yeah.
fits on, and with a little bit of work, you can get it to fit on just about anything. We're working on brackets for 85s. They're going to have to be a little bit. The whole device is going to have to be a little bit shorter because the triple clamps don't have as much room. But we'll have those out pretty soon. And what we're actually working on a 2-piece bracket right now. We've got a single piece, and it'll make it easier to install. But for the next little bit, we'll still have the single piece, which worked really well.
Yeah, it's not that bad. I mean, the biggest thing, you got to take the wheel off the bike, the front wheel off the bike, and slide one of the forks down. So it's no big deal. Bow Hunter, what day are we riding? Your question is funny. What day are we riding on Friday? So that would be Friday. No,
Right.
Friday we're gonna ride Peach Valley. We're gonna meet at the main parking lot of Peach Valley at 9:00. We're camping up around the corner on Peach Valley Road, headed north. So my van will be out there tonight at some point. I'm not exactly sure when I'm going to get everything out there, but yeah, we're going to get that done. Garrett Anderson, I know you've been crazy busy driving your wife across the country. We need to get together and ride and all that good stuff. Let's see, make sure we didn't miss any real important stuff. Everybody's talking about their bodies aching. It's the thing. As we get old. Teddy Roosevelt, dude. Robert, you're killing me. I love it so much.
I would just add about the CounterShox.
Yeah.
Before everyone throws shade, just try it. Right? Yeah. Give it a shot. That's when anything new. Some people will love it. Some people may not. But to comment a lot of hate on something that you've never even seen or held, just try the thing. And I think you offer a return.
It's money back guarantee.
How can you beat that?
You buy it, you don't like it, and we haven't had to give anybody their money back yet.
Right. And
everybody, I mean, it does what it says it does.
I dare anyone on the internet, whether you're watching live right now or watching later, anyone to find anything in the motorcycle industry that has a money back guarantee of any kind. Like, dude, I don't, and if there's something out there, let me know and I'll give it a shot, whatever it is. Because like, if you buy a Scott steering stabilizer, a $700 setup, triple clamp, whatever, and you get it and you're like, it doesn't really do much for me. It's yours. Yeah. Like, it's yours. You're
like marketplace.
Yeah. So, like, I've never seen anything like that.
Also, I don't know, he's talking about the Scott steering damper being $700. Our device is $350. Compared to having a significant amount of work done, it's a great place to, maybe to start. Really, I think, ideally you start with springs. You want to get the bike sprung correctly. If you want to do valving and things like that, but it's another layer that really is helpful. So.
And Rob H, will the CounterShox fit behind the headlight on my EXC? 100%.
Yep, it's on my bike right now.
Yep, his is on the EXC. I mean, mine it's XCW, but I've also got a bunch of crap behind the anyway, whatever.
He's got a damper on there, a steering damper.
Yeah, I've got it. So my 125, I have one of the Showa steering dampers, and it fits with that. And then on my 300, I got the Moto-minded super. Anyway, whatever. Yeah, it works, no problem. Some I've had to carve a little plastic out of this and that, like to get it to fit, but it's whatever. It's just plastic. It's no big deal. Keith would like to know: does it absorb as much bad vibes as Jimmy's corny driving music. I would say probably better than that.
Nice.
I didn't
Keith,
know
where
that
you
was
at?
possible, but okay.
Yeah. Keith, why are you not here? Let's see. Have you got a team or pro rider to use it? I'd be interested in their reaction for someone with a high level of riding skill.
If you go to our website, we actually had an entire arena cross team. There was 3 guys that ran it, and there's reviews on there, and that was one of them. There were the three pros. I mean, it probably doesn't help much that I'm race AA as well, but
Yeah, I was gonna say,
you know,
you did
I've put
AA.
it on. I haven't been shy about putting on anybody. There's a couple other pros that are world class that I've put it on, but I told them, you know, through their suspension contacts and things like that, that I wouldn't mention their names until they said it was okay. So, but an off-road rider that is as good as you can possibly imagine likes it quite a bit. So,
yeah, and a lot of those guys, it's probably going to, I mean, I don't know. I just know from actually with TBT, there's some pro racers out there that are running TBT suspension, and they have to keep it secret because they're on a factory team.
right.
And so they have to have factory stickers on their stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so the upper level pros, you know, hopefully for Nathan's sake, they'll be able to announce it and talk about it at some point. But the problem is when you're dealing with a factory and it's something that they don't produce, they like to keep it secret because they like to sell bikes, right? They don't sell parts. They sell motorcycles. That's why when you watch a supercross race, or I mean, so let's, for instance, you watch the Baja 1000 back when we actually had factories supporting it. You know, you watch those factory bikes come by, like a factory Honda, they have a plastic skid plate and like little opening hand guards and whatever. It's not because those guys necessarily want to run that. It's because they got to keep that bike looking as stock as possible so that when you walk into your dealership, you're like, I want that one because Johnny Campbell rode it or because Kurt Caselli rode it or whatever. So, so hopefully they'll get that sorted out. And quick, Mike Barnado, what does it weigh? 1.6 pounds, right?
1.6 pounds.
1.6 pounds.
With somebody pointed out, with the brackets and everything, it's 1.8. But the device itself is 1.6.
Yeah, and it's unnoticed. Let's put it this way: I noticed a bigger difference on because like my 300, I run a big XL Sport headlight from Baja Designs in the Moto Minded setup. And when I took that off to go race this last weekend, it was a bigger. I noticed that more than when I put the CounterShox on as far as the weight. That thing weighs way more than the CounterShox.
It's a fifth of a gallon of gas.
Yeah.
So if you can tell when you're
a couple
a fifth of a gallon,
cheeseburgers.
yeah. Hit the bathroom extra hard on your way.
Yeah. See, Keith McQueen, I'm super bummed that you couldn't make it too. What kind of ride are we doing tonight, Bow Hunter? We're doing a normal Thursday night ride, so there's probably going to be a lot of folks there. So probably split people for things. But yeah, normal Thursday night, relatively short tonight, and then Friday we're going to go and do. My goal is to do a big like tour of Peach Valley, like from end to end, and see everything. And then when we get back, then we can whatever. Standalone component or integrated with the forks. It's a standalone. Like
it's standalone. It doesn't even actually have to be mounted on the fork itself. But that's the obvious place to put it because that's where it's doing its good. But it doesn't go inside it. It's not attached. There's no internal valving that crosses over or anything like that. It's doing its own thing.
Yeah, and you can just like take it off one bike and put it on another bike. So, Mr. Neithardt.
Yes, sir. Is there?
Let everybody know where you came from. I mean, a lot of these guys know.
Yeah.
But give us the story of how you got here, why you're here, all that good stuff.
Just came out to ride with some good people. I live over in New Jersey. I'm about 5 minutes from the Atlantic Ocean. So plugged in the GPS and just headed. And so everyone knows that East Coast riding is outlaw riding. So unless you're racing or riding an event, there is no legal trail riding that we're allowed to talk about, but we all know the secret stuff. So to come out and not, have to deal with that is pretty cool. So come out and support, a friend and some nice riding areas. The area is pretty cool. So if anyone's in the market for a house, this place is awesome.
Yeah.
The gated community, I had a problem. The security guard almost didn't let me in. He said I smelled like Yankee, but I knew the password, the secret word was Wet Willie. So right in.
Yeah, they heard his accent. They're like, I don't know, man.
But the drive wasn't bad. I mean, like 2-lane road. It's not like turnpike or any of that crazy stuff. So bunch of tractor trailers, you tuck in and just send it. So
yeah, and both these guys got to experience. If you guys are not here yet, and you're coming for the ride, and you're coming from east of here,
oh God,
I should have mentioned this. I thought it was everywhere, but Highway 50 between Gunnison and here is closed most of the time. It does open for like an hour during lunch and like an hour and a half in the morning and an hour. Anyway, whatever. Both these guys had to do the long way around through Crawford and then down through Hotchkiss. And anyway,
it's like plus an hour and a half, but it is a pretty cool drive. There's a sheer cliff of death on the other side of that road, which is pretty neat.
Yeah,
neat to see.
Yeah, it goes right along the Black Canyon. So if you guys have heard of or know where the Black Canyon is, the road is like literally on the edge of the Black Canyon for almost all of it. And it's ridiculous.
You get there and she's like, well, you could turn around. I'm like, lady, I just drove from the ocean. I ain't turning around.
No one's turning around.
We're going that way.
Yeah. And Nathan was hoping for like a couple hours sleep when he got here, and that didn't happen. He pulled up. I opened the door to go put stuff in my van, and there he is. I'm like, oh, he's here. Oh my God, I must have. And it turns out he had literally just driven, like just pulled up. So we got him some coffee, and we're all good. And Garrett, yes, at least it's pretty. Bruce Kennedy asked, how will it work when you add the chainsaw mount? We're going to find out. And I was concerned, but Nathan pointed out to me about making it work because it really won't fit up top in between the triple clamps with my chainsaw mount, the way it works. But I didn't, because I'm not smart like Nathan, I didn't think about the fact that we could just put it on the bottom side, like underneath the bottom triple clamp, and put it on the fork, and it'll work just great. So I will find out and let you guys know. So
it's where a lot of the adventure bikes, we mount them down low because there's so much stuff mounted up there on those that there's no room for it. But it goes down there and works just fine. And these work really, really well for adventure bikes. All that chop that you get when you're on a gravel road and you get that real floating feeling, this completely eliminates that. It keeps a little bit of pressure on the front end and makes it track so much better. Just been told that they feel like they're more in control than usual. So anybody that has an adventure bike and a moto bike, give it a shot. You can put it on both bikes.
Do you have how much? Because I know I asked you about getting a set, but then you were kind enough to send me a whole other CounterShox. What would a set of brackets be if you wanted to have a bracket on one, brackets on both bikes and just move the because you can't ride two bikes at one time.
Right. I don't have them priced individually. If somebody wants to email me about buying extra brackets, I'd be open to it. They are just about the most expensive part of having it manufactured, but I mean, you're probably talking 120 or something like that.
Yeah, because they're the cool
brackets,
CNC machined, like the other everything else could be done on a lathe.
Right. The other part is much more standard. But that's just how it is.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, and then Bruce can use your 690. You could use one. I think, like I said, other than the big hits, the place that I've noticed that it really helps is in some really choppy braking bump that's like washboard, that normally a lot of times a bike will start to just float, right? It just like the wheel gets off the ground and then and you're like pushing out or pushing, like it just doesn't feel like you're touching the ground. And that's where that thing helps. It's like almost like it tunes up. I talked to someone else that has got one.
Schulmeyer.
Yeah.
Right, John, he's the Blackjack, their web guy. But
and it tunes up. It's like you feel the first one, which you normally would, right? If you're going down smooth, bro, I mean, nothing is gonna fix that. But you hit that first one, and then you hit the next one, and it's almost like it tunes the harmonics, and then smooths everything out.
I'm not sure about that, but
It feels like
if
it.
that's how it feels to you, then
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
good.
he doesn't,
I
like,
don't.
That's
you
not
know,
how he built it.
It's not wasn't it's sort of its intention, but you know, I don't know. You kind of have to wrap your mind around what's going on with your suspension and this device as well.
Yeah.
So
It seems it
I know
seems
what
like
you
it to
mean.
me. It's a weird thing. But yeah, and I haven't ridden on any like washboard with it, which is where your adventure bikes would maybe benefit the most. Like the big adventure bikes that guys don't really go, whatever, they're going down gravel roads. But on the really choppy, gnarly braking bumps down at Peach, it definitely makes a big difference. Bruce Kinney say, hope you patented it. It's patent pending, right?
It is patent pending.
Yeah.
Yes.
So Big Red Grizzly. I met Jimmy on the line at my first hair scramble. Awesome guy. Debatable. He just hit me with that South Jersey accent and said, just have fun, brother.
Yeah, that's it, man. We were lined up right next to each other. I remember that race, man. We had a good time.
That's awesome.
Good people. His kids are into the racing and stuff. He's a club member, cut trail and everything. So good dude.
Nice.
Big Red.
There's Kansas Greg. To me, the CounterShox is most noticeable. The cobbled chop keeps the front end planted. And Kansas Greg is how we even met each other. That, by the way, that's his name.
Right. It's Kansas Greg.
Yeah. KG.
Okay.
Kansas Greg. Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Really, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Did you computer test this? Says Joe.
I'm not sure exactly what you mean by computer test, but we have data acquisition that we've ran on the bike and came up with a lot of different statistics and things that show you what it's doing. I think one of the coolest things that we found out through going through our data was that after we did about a 10-minute hair scramble loop, and after 10 minutes, the bike topped out 63 times without the device on. So we don't know what that meant, if that's normal or whatever. We put the device on and it ran the exact same loop, same rider, same speed, and it topped out 20 times, which kind of keeps in with it. It keeps it pushing it down in the stroke just a little bit so that you're not above natural sag. Is what happens is when you're above natural sag, you lose contact with the ground, and that's when you get that unplanted feeling, and this keeps that pressure down. So anyway, that was one of the things that we learned through our data acquisition. There's been a bunch of others.
Does it have to be between the triple clamps, Paul? We answered that a little earlier. No, it does not.
No. We did some rally testing a while back, and they have so much crap up front that we ended up putting it, and it actually kind of hung out to the side a little bit. It didn't seem to make any difference. It still works just fine. We just put it there. It's a nice place to, hide it and keep it from getting damaged and do its job. Yeah.
Jimmy, I have to ask, you've traveled, obviously spent most of your time on the East Coast.
Mm-hmm.
You've now been out here. You came out to South Dakota.
Mm-hmm.
Is this your first time riding in Colorado?
Yeah, it is. My son was stationed in New Mexico and near Albuquerque, so we went out and visited him. And so we were close to Colorado.
Did you ride?
No, I didn't bring the bike. We drove. It was during the Rona.
Okay.
And so we're like, let's go check out Colorado. We're so close. So we kind of went to the southern part.
Yeah,
I'm not
just
sure.
right there.
Yeah. And it was beautiful. I like it. So, given that I spent all my life on the East Coast, coming out west is, different, and it's pretty exciting.
This is gonna be big. We'll definitely be filming Jimmy
get some good crash
a
wheels.
lot.
I think he said he's going for longest wheelie today.
Yeah, I'll give it a shot. I'm
longest
looping out.
Longest wheelie and nose wheelie.
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll give it a shot.
Yeah, it's gonna be good. And
I brought my GoPro.
So.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it should be spectacular.
I wonder if they take my insurance out here.
Oh yeah. But I think what's gonna be, and actually, you've racing a lot. You probably spent a fair amount of time out west, haven't you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So. Colorado is usually about as far as I go west, but I've been out here riding quite a bit, mostly Taylor Park and what everybody does.
So he knows how dry, slick it can be.
Oh yeah.
Jimmy doesn't really understand that.
Yeah,
so
we ride. It's wet. It rains almost every other day back home, especially in the spring. So it's gonna be an experience. I got a bunch of air filters.
Yeah, it's really dry right now, and it's gonna be dusty, and it'll be an experience because it is a completely different kind of slippery out here. It's a weird thing because growing up in Oklahoma, I didn't really ride when I was there, but I've ridden since I've been back, and yeah, the dirt is, I mean, it's horrible out here for doing anything but riding dirt bikes, which is good. That's why it's all open and no one owns it. And there's no, it's not farms all over it and all that stuff. So it's a good thing that it sucks for other stuff because we get to ride.
Dirt
all the
bikers
time.
want the crappiest land you can give us.
Yeah, exactly, which we'll take it.
Take anything.
The hey mom, there's my mom. Everybody say hi to Suzanne.
Suzanne, I was looking for the muffins.
Yeah, mom. What the heck? Bow Hunter, we are riding on Sunday also. I'm not 100% sure where. We'll probably be out of Peach, but we're going to ride Friday Peach, Saturday Dry Creek, and then Sunday is like wherever anybody wants to go. If you want to go back to the place you enjoyed the most, whatever. This is not, by the way, if you guys like, these Ride the World things are not about like everybody being in one giant group and just like traveling around riding, because we would get no mileage in. Like if we did that.
Hard to keep that many people together.
It's more about getting everybody together, meet, hang out, whatever, go ride, find your group, find the people that are at your speed, and then just go, do your thing. And obviously, ask me questions where you want to go, whatever. Real quick, if you guys are coming and you're watching this thing and you haven't done it yet, download the CoTrex app. That's COTREX. It's free. Make sure you do that. Every trail we'll be on this weekend is on that app. So
RJ8 said, let's go to Arizona. Let's do it.
Yeah, dude. We should come out and see you, Roger. Like, I want to come ride up there. I've ridden bicycles up near where you are. I haven't ever done that. So, all right, guys, we're coming close to the end here. Any more questions for either Jimmy or Nathan or me? Make sure you crash hard. Good to see you, dude. Thank you for the stickers, by the way.
The only thing I'll add about the CounterShox is, I guess, what's the expression? Dirty hands, clean money.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm looking at, you got three guys here. I'm a tradesman. I'm an electrician. He said he was in the trades. So his hands are all like dirty as mine, busted up. And he said he's a double A rider. So the guy knows how to ride a dirt bike. Listen, I'm not paid. I didn't even get a damn T-shirt. So like, all I'm saying is he's a good dude. Seems like a great guy. And, give it a shot.
There you go.
Gas prices are high. You get auction. Sweet.
Yeah. So guys, give it a shot. Check them out. It's CounterShox.com.
Yep. CounterShox.com.
And that's
There's
with an
also
X.
Yes, SHOX. There's also a Facebook and an Instagram.
Yeah. So make sure. Does it have any effect on old traditional shocks? Yeah, absolutely.
It works amazingly. I've had a lot of guys that are getting into vintage racing, and we don't have a good bracket set up for it. But if you just get it on there, it takes an old, 85 CR and makes it where it actually handles.
Yeah. Yeah. And he said KDX 200. So yeah, absolutely.
Oh, there you go. Just like that.
Yeah. And the thing I'll just call it what everybody, like other guys that understand what it is. It's basically a tuned mass damper is what the general word. So it doesn't really matter what it's on, right? Like it doesn't matter what the thing is on. It's going to counteract the motions that you don't want, no matter what it's on. Like it doesn't make any difference.
I'll say patent wise, it's not a tuned mass damper, but it has a very, very similar effect. And there's some very minor, engineering details that makes it different than that. So,
but that's an easy way to Google it. Like
if
you want to Google what it is, because we all know it's patented.
There's also a J damper is another one that was something that Formula One was using, and they had a similar effect. There's that it was like sort of threaded it's something like that to look up.
Yeah, so if you want to Google it, if you just want to see kind of what the science is basically behind it, obviously it's different. You can't call this thing a tuned mass damper like it is in a building because it's not doing the same thing, but it's
right.
It'll help your brain get around the idea. It helped me because it's like, okay, I kind of get it. I don't really care. I'll try anything.
Right.
If it works, great. Whee! Mm-hmm. But I'm interested. Like, okay, what is it basically maybe doing? And that helped my brain understand it. And you won't be able to build one yourself. Well, if you can, then whatever. But good luck with that. Nathan.
There's been a lot of time put in to get it where it is.
Yeah, so, Nathan spent a ton of time
at
and money.
350. It really doesn't. You're going to spend a good amount of time getting it even close for that kind of money. So,
Bruce Kenny, can the bracket be made for the largest fork and then include bushing for different sizes?
Well, we're gonna just concentrate on making it for making different brackets for each bike.
Right.
But right now, we're basically, it works on the largest forks, and we'll work on basically KYBs are just a little bit smaller, and we've got a new bracket out that works with those. And all I've done is put a small shim in for the KYBs up to this point, but everybody else is just bolt right on.
Yeah, and it's, I mean, basically, if you have a 48 millimeter fork seal, then it's going to work.
Right.
Right. Like it's going to work on the bike. It'll be just fine.
Right.
So, or yeah, Mark Payne hose clamp it. That's what we're actually going to do on my kids.
Right.
KX100. We're going to just hose clamp that sucker to those forks and let them try it and give it a shot.
Yeah. Just got to be on there.
Yeah. Just got to be on
and
not
in the same plane as the fork as well.
Right. Like you can't mount it sideways.
You can't mount it sideways. It's not going to do any good.
But yeah, it's got to be up and down with the fork, but it'll be good.
Yep.
So right on, guys. We're going to go ride dirt bikes, actually. So I hope you guys have a wonderful day. I hope you get out and spread the gospel two wheels. And as always, I desperately hope that what we're doing here is inspiring you guys to get out and ride your dirt bikes.